How's it going, everybody? It's Trevor, the SuitedNinjaNerd here, and welcome to my behind-the-scenes video for My Unluckyish Life, Episode 5. So in this video, I'm going to show you guys a bunch of BTS footage of how I animate, edit, do lighting, and do some set building and setup for my videos. So hopefully this will give you guys a good look into how I produce my brick films here on YouTube. So I'm going to start animating right now, and I hope you guys enjoy watching the rest of the video. Alright, so I'm done filming some of the first scenes in the video. This part is where Alex is throwing down a couple of these sleds onto the ground so that he can then slide down the hill. I've got a couple of weights here holding down my base plate. My camera's set up on my tripod, which is also weighted down. And then back here I've got a little backdrop of some snow-covered mountains that are weighted down as well. I bet you can see that flash of light back there. So what that is in a lot of my videos I usually put a light under the table to kind of shine against the backdrop back there, and it adds a little bit of ambiance to the scene and makes it look a little more lively and less flat like a piece of paper. So I have it put on a couple boxes here and shining up at the wall so that you get kind of this nice glow effect when looking through the camera. So for this scene here where Alex is on his green sled going down the hill, I wanted to give the film a really big sense of motion while he was going down the hill. So to accomplish that, I built these sliders here out of tiles and yellow bricks, and I have the camera set up at a certain angle that allows you to not see those. But these sliders allow me to push this line of trees along so that I will take a picture and push it really fast, and it'll give the trees some motion blur in the final product, which gives the sled that Alex is on a lot more speed by making the background look like it's going past. And I was going to do that with the background, with the mountains back here, but I ended up forgetting, so that's the only reason why I didn't do it there. And then also when I was doing this, I tried to keep the lighting a certain position for each shot of the film just to give it more continuity, because I like to do that a lot in my videos. So it was a little bit dark, so I had this white card here to allow me to bounce some of the light off onto my subject here, which is Alex on the sled. And that allowed me to accomplish all the little aspects and bits of this shot. I built this really long strip of snow where Alex is going to be sledding down the hill and trying to weave in and out of all the trees in the foreground. So since this is gonna be a pan shot, I built the different sections of the snow here to be able to be separated, so that when I finish up with whatever's down here, I can pick it up and then put it down at the other end and not run out of plates for Alex to sled down. and I have to be able to track for this as well so that I can move it for each frame. And I've also got to do that for the mountains in the back too. So I'm going to try and figure out how I'm going to be able to do all of this. So after filming the scene with Alex colliding with the tree after weaving through a bunch of other trees in this giant patch of trees, and I'm saying trees a lot, I initially created the snow layer up one single plate, and it kind of rose up as it went back further. But for the piece that I used to separate the snow layer and the background with the mountains is a really high off the ground board, or high off the table board. So I'm actually instead changing the design so that I have an abundance of these 2x4 yellow bricks. So I'm going to be putting a bunch of those under it, and I'll still have it taper up, but it won't be to as high a degree. But it'll make everything look a bit more flat, which is what I'm trying to go for, as opposed to making it look like it's sloped up at the top. I use that trick a lot in many of my films, even in some that I haven't released. I've kind of used that as a bit of forced perspective trick. But we're going to see how this goes, and I'm going to figure out if I can get this to work or not. So I finished building out this different snow layer, so now that it's a brick thickness off of the ground. Hopefully that kind of helps for the perspective to look a bit better. So I'm going to hop into animating this scene where Alex starts to finally ball up into that giant ball of snow. So I have these 3 different versions of it, and I'm going to use some sticky tack to put some other little pieces on it just to kind of give it more of the sense of it accumulating snow as he continues to roll down the hill. So I'm going to go ahead and start doing that. Alrighty, just gonna do a pan shot here, so let me screw this guy back in. Did I seriously just break this tripod? Dang it! It's not like I have any other tripods laying around or anything. Wait. Oh, well, that's helpful. Huh. Didn't know that was there. So for this scene I'm about to film here, Alex is on this circular sled, and he's just riding down the hill like he normally does throughout most of the video. But Percy here is on his snowboard, and he's going down the hill really fast, and he slides right next to Alex, which causes Alex to start spinning out at a really fast speed. So to make Percy look faster than he actually does in his minifigure form. I made a brick-built version of him where it looks much more streaked and adds a lot more action to the scene as it like slides across the screen really fast. So this technique is very reminiscent of Benny from the Lego Movie, and I've actually used this technique a couple times in some of my other films, and it just adds a lot more dynamic speed to the character as they slide by on the screen. So for this scene, to create a sense of motion, since you can only see the upper half of Alex's body and nothing else around in the scenery, I built these sliders again. I use a lot of sliders in my videos, and I have these trees built up here so that whenever you put them on the slider, I push it a certain amount each time, and it'll eventually show up within the footage and then disappear behind Alex's body as he slides past in his sled. So for this scene here, I have Alex on his red sled, and he stands up on it and it starts to split in half. So to get the angle I wanted to for this shot, I had to precariously set my tripod up here so that I can get the overhead angle I want. And I'll probably do a little bit of editing in post just to rotate the scene a little bit and actually have it at the angle I want it to perfectly. I just couldn't set it up exactly I wanted it to just because of the table and where I have everything set up and stuff. And so to actually have the board split in half, I just have two little planks, two little versions that are just an exact half of the full sled. So I'll swap out the full sled with these guys, and then they'll kind of spread apart as Alex keeps sliding down the hill. So now I've got some bricks, I've got some plates, I have a base plate, and I'm ready to build a new scene for one of the sets for this video. Let's get to building. Yep, the scenery here is all done, so it's a mini model of the two hills that the guys go to. And I also built this miniature version of Alex's car that is going to drive along the road here. And so yeah, this scene is basically supposed to be like a transitional shot, like the scene from the Lego movie where Metalbeard is trying to explain the previous plans that the Master Builders have had in terms of trying to break into President Business's office. So yeah, I'm kind of going for that sort of feel for how this model is going to work out and how this scene is going to be filmed. So hopefully I can sort of capture that same likeness when I try to film this scene. So to set up for this next scene here, I have to build a frozen over lake, and that's going to be a little hard because I don't have a ton of translucent parts that are going to make it look like it's an iced over body of water. But luckily I do have one set that should come in handy for this. Yeah, this set should help out a lot with trying to build a lake. All those nice transparent 1x2 pieces are definitely going to be put to good use. And with that, that's the final scene I had to animate for episode 5. So now I can finally hop into doing post-production editing, visual effects, sound effects, and compiling the video all together to eventually get it into its final product. So I ended up not filming any of the editing process because A, it was kind of boring. It was a lot of just cutting things up and getting things to sync up with music. And B, also I kind of forgot. So yeah, but on April 28th of this year, I finally uploaded the video. And yeah, so you're watching the BTS right now, so no need to wait for it. So I hope you guys enjoyed this in-depth look at how I made My Unluckyish Life episode 5. It definitely took a little bit longer to put the video together than I wanted it to, but in the end I think it turned out really good. Thanks to all you guys out there who have been supporting both that video, this behind the scenes video, and just all the stuff I've been putting out on my channel. It really does mean the world to me. And if you guys want to see more behind the scenes stuff like this, why not drop a like on the video, subscribe to the channel, and just keep up with all the stuff I'm doing. There's definitely a lot more coming in the future, and I'm excited to share it with you guys. So on that note, SuitedNinjaNerd, out. So in this scene I'm about to film, Percy here, that's not Percy, that's Alex,